The highlands of Ethiopia are a world apart, a realm where survival is a relentless test, and only the most adaptable endure. Etched by time and sculpted by the elements, these vast, rugged landscapes rise towards the African sky like ancient fortresses. The air is thin, and the sun beats down with an unforgiving intensity, baking the earth and bleaching the rocks. Here, sheer cliffs plummet into deep-shadowed valleys, and arid semi-deserts give way to rare, life-giving pockets of water. The terrain is a labyrinth of stone and dust, where every step is a negotiation with danger. In this land of dramatic contrasts, survival is not a given, it is a daily struggle. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest predator, is locked in a ceaseless contest with the elements and with each other. Each species has carved out its own niche, developing ingenious strategies to endure the harsh conditions. Solitary hunters prowl the plateaus, relying on stealth and patience to ambush their prey, while nimble herbivores graze in the sparse grass, ever watchful for danger. Among the most resourceful are the baboons, whose tight-knit clans cling to the rock faces, their lives woven into the fabric of this vertical world. The story of this land is one of interconnectedness, where the fate of one species is often bound to the fortunes of another. The rhythm of life is dictated by the changing seasons. As the rains retreat, water becomes scarce, and the search for food grows desperate. Predators lurk in the shadows, and every movement is a calculated risk. The balance is delicate, a complex and ever-shifting web of existence. Among the most remarkable inhabitants are the Hamadryas baboons. Their powerful forms, immortalized in ancient stone, have roamed these mountains for millennia. They are masters of adaptation, their every action shaped by the demands of survival. Their society is as complex as the cliffs they inhabit. Each clan is a tightly controlled unit, ruled by a dominant male who must constantly defend his position. The baboons' social bonds are their greatest strength, allowing them to coordinate foraging, defend against predators, and care for their young. Yet life here is fraught with conflict. Rival males challenge each other for dominance, and entire clans clash over precious territory. The mountains echo with the cries of battle and the calls of warning, as each group fights for survival and supremacy. The baboons employ clever tactics, forming alliances, using the terrain to their advantage, and communicating with a complex language of gestures and calls. Their intelligence is a vital tool, helping them outwit both rivals and predators. Across the highlands, animals form unexpected partnerships. Birds alert baboons to the presence of leopards, while smaller mammals scavenge leftovers from the baboons' meals. Each interaction is a thread in the intricate tapestry of survival. Through the personal stories of individual animals, we witness the daily drama of life and death, a world of fierce competition, profound connection, and constant adaptation. Foraging is a test of memory and endurance. Baboons traverse treacherous slopes in search of roots, seeds, and insects, their sharp eyes scanning for danger. When water is scarce, they dig into dry riverbeds or share precious pools, their survival hinging on cooperation and resourcefulness. The young learn by watching their elders how to find food, avoid predators, and navigate the complex social hierarchy. Grooming rituals reinforce bonds, offering comfort and forging alliances that can mean the difference between life and death. Sentinels keep watch from high vantage points, sounding alarms at the first sign of danger. When threatened, the troop moves as one, a coordinated escape that confounds even the most determined predator. As night falls, the temperature plummets. Baboons huddle together on narrow ledges, sharing warmth and safety in numbers. The darkness brings new dangers, but also a brief respite, a chance to rest before the next day's trials. With the first light of dawn, the cycle begins anew. In this wild kingdom, every day is a battle, every victory hard won. The Ethiopian highlands are a crucible, forging creatures of remarkable resilience and ingenuity. We begin our exploration by delving into the complex society of the Hamadryas baboon. a community where order is maintained through power, and power is everything. In the heart of Ethiopia's ancient highlands, where the land rises in jagged waves of stone and the wind whispers through deep gorges, the Hamadryas baboons have carved out a society as enduring and complex as the rocks themselves. Their world is a tapestry of steep cliffs, sun-baked plateaus and shadowed ravines, a landscape that shapes every aspect of their existence. Amidst this rugged terrain, the baboon society reveals itself not as chaos, but as a living order, each individual's place defined by intricate bonds and unspoken rules. At the heart of this order lies the harem, a tightly knit family unit led by a single dominant male surrounded by his females and their young. Within these small circles, every gesture and glance carries meaning. The harem is not a product of chance, but of the male's relentless vigilance. He surveys the cliffs, always alert, asserting his authority with subtle signals and, when needed, with force. He is the patriarch, the guardian, and the unchallenged leader, his presence a constant reassurance and a warning. The bond between male and female is maintained by a strict code, loyalty is demanded, and any sign of defiance is met with swift discipline, a sharp bite, a stern glare, a reminder of the order that holds the group together. Several harems gather to form clans, their interactions a dance of alliances and rivalries, where greetings are exchanged with cautious touches and sidelong glances. Clans unite into vast troops, sometimes hundreds strong, their collective presence a living shield against the dangers that prowl the wild edges of their world. In these great gatherings, safety is found in numbers. When leopards or hyenas approach, the troop responds as one, adults bristling, young pressed close, a wall of defiance against the night's hunters. By day, the family units scatter across the savanna and rocky slopes, foraging for roots, seeds, and tender shoots. Each group moves with purpose, the adults ever watchful, the young mimicking their elders' every move. As the sun dips low, a silent signal passes through the troop. One by one they return to the cliffs, climbing with practiced ease to their ancient sleeping grounds. These sheer rock faces are their fortress, vertical walls that deter even the most determined predator. Here the baboons find sanctuary, the stone itself a silent guardian through the long, dark hours. Huddled close, they share warmth and comfort, their bodies pressed together beneath the endless African sky, the stars wheeling overhead as sentinels of the night. The dominant male's appearance is unmistakable, a living emblem of strength and authority. His mane, thick and silver-grey, ripples in the wind, a signal to all who see him. He is nearly twice the size of the females, his powerful frame a testament to years of survival and triumph in this unforgiving land. The mane is more than ornament. It is a badge of maturity, a magnet for females, and a warning to rivals. Its silvery sheen marks him as a leader, a figure both admired and feared. His long crimson face, framed by this regal cloak, is etched with the stories of countless battles and alliances. His fangs, curved and formidable, are tools of both defense and discipline, capable of deterring predators and enforcing order within the troop. Every aspect of his appearance proclaims his fitness, his right to lead, and his place at the pinnacle of baboon society. For the young, life is a blend of play and learning. Under the watchful gaze of mothers and the ever-present patriarch, they explore, tumble, and test the boundaries of their world. Maternal care is a gentle force, a counterbalance to the strict discipline of the males. Mothers cradle their infants, soothing them with soft touches and quiet murmurs. Grooming is both comfort and communication, a ritual that strengthens bonds and reassures the young. Through playful games and careful observation, the young learn the skills they will need: how to find food among the rocks and grasses, how to scale the dizzying cliffs with confidence and grace, and most importantly, how to read the subtle cues and signals that govern every interaction in this intricate society. These early lessons, learned among stone and sky, are the foundation of their future, preparing each new generation to thrive in the wild, untamed heart of Ethiopia. For a male Hamadryas baboon, becoming a leader is the culmination of a life of struggle, ambition, and conflict. He does not inherit his position, he earns it through strength, cunning, and an unyielding will to dominate. A young male on the periphery of the troop will spend years observing, waiting for his moment. He may start by adopting a juvenile female, protecting her, and forming a bond that will become the cornerstone of his future harem. Or he may choose a more direct path, challenging an established leader for control of his entire family unit. These confrontations are brutal and decisive, a test of power where the winner takes all. Asa is one such leader. He is a patriarch in his prime, his magnificent silver mane a testament to his age and experience. His sharp, intelligent gaze misses nothing as he surveys his domain from a high perch on the cliff face. His harem consists of 7 loyal females and their young, a dynasty he has built and defended with his formidable strength. Every sunrise he leads them from the safety of the sleeping cliffs down to the valley floor to forage. His presence is a constant reassuring anchor for his family, a shield against the dangers of their world. He is ever vigilant, his ears attuned to the slightest sound that might signal a threat. The responsibilities of a leader like Asa are immense. He must guide his family to scarce resources in a harsh, semi-desert environment. Their diet is varied but often hard to find, consisting of grasses, roots, berries, insects, and occasionally the eggs of ground-nesting birds. Asa must remember the locations of seasonal waterholes and fruiting trees, leading his family across vast distances. He must also mediate disputes within his harem, maintaining peace and order amongst the females. Above all, he must be a constant sentinel, watching for rival males who would seek to usurp his position, and for predators that see his young as an easy meal. The ultimate purpose of his reign is the continuation of his bloodline. By maintaining exclusive access to the females in his harem, he ensures that all offspring carry his genes. This is the biological imperative that drives his every action, the reason behind his fierce possessiveness and his willingness to fight to the death to protect his family. For Asa, leadership is not a privilege, it is a profound and heavy burden. The survival of his lineage rests entirely on his shoulders, a weight he carries with a quiet, powerful dignity that defines his existence in the wild Ethiopian highlands. Social dynamics within the troop are complex, with grooming and bonding rituals playing a crucial role in maintaining harmony. The young baboons engage in playful wrestling, honing their skills for future challenges and establishing their place in the social hierarchy. Asa must constantly assert his dominance, reminding the troop of his leadership through displays of power and authority. Rivalries are ever present, with younger males challenging Asa's authority, seeking to take his place at the helm. These confrontations can be fierce and bloody, with the future of the troop hanging in the balance. Victory solidifies Asa's position, but the constant threat of challenge keeps him ever vigilant and prepared. Leadership is a relentless journey, a balance of strength, strategy, and social acumen that defines the life of a baboon leader in the wilds of Ethiopia. High on the wind-swept Bale Plateau, where the clouds drift low and the air is thin, a silent drama plays out each day, one that few eyes ever witness. Here in the heart of the Afro-Alpine grasslands roams the rarest and most elusive of all wild canids, the Ethiopian wolf. Its elegant, slender frame, cloaked in a rich reddish-brown coat, moves with a quiet grace, blending seamlessly into the golden grasses and rocky outcrops. Unlike its distant relatives, the Ethiopian wolf is a creature of solitude. It hunts alone, relying not on the chaos of a pack, but on the art of patience and the mastery of silence. Every step is measured, every movement calculated as it glides through the high-altitude wilderness. Life here is a delicate balance. The wolf's survival depends on the abundance of small mammals, especially the giant mole rat, a plump rodent that spends most of its life hidden beneath the earth. safe in a labyrinth of tunnels. The hunt is a ritual of stillness and focus. The wolf stands motionless, its large, sensitive ears angled sharply toward the ground, attuned to the faintest rustle or scratch of a mole rat moving just below the surface. The world narrows to a single point of concentration. Sometimes the wait stretches for hours, but when the moment comes it is sudden and explosive, a blur of motion as the wolf pounces, digging frantically with its front paws, snatching its quarry before it can vanish into the safety of its subterranean fortress. This is a hunt defined by stealth and precision, a solitary contest between predator and prey. Yet the Ethiopian wolf's world is not entirely one of isolation. While each wolf hunts alone, they are bound together by strong family ties. At dusk, the solitary hunters return to their pack, a close-knit group that shares a territory, defends its borders, and raises the next generation together. The breeding season is a time of hope and vulnerability. Only once a year do the wolves welcome new life. And with so few of their kind left, every cub is a treasure. The entire pack, led by a dominant pair, works in harmony, bringing food to the den, standing guard, and teaching the young the ways of the plateau. Cooperation is their shield against the many dangers that stalk these highlands. The pack's unity is essential, for threats lurk in every shadow and on every breeze. Above, the vast sky is patrolled by powerful eagles, their sharp eyes ever watchful for the slightest movement below. For the wolf cubs, these aerial hunters are a constant menace, striking without warning from the blue. The mother wolf is ever vigilant, her senses tuned to the shifting light and the silent passage of wings overhead. At the first sign of danger, a fleeting shadow, a sudden hush, she gathers her pups, ushering them swiftly back to the safety of the den. The Ethiopian wolf's world is shared with other predators. Serval cats slink through the grass, and auger buzzards perch on rocky outcrops, each competing for the same elusive prey. Sometimes tense standoffs occur, a silent negotiation of territory and survival. To maintain their fragile hold on this land, the wolves mark their territory with scent and song. Their haunting howls echo across the plateau at dawn and dusk, a declaration of presence, a warning to rivals, and a call to kin. As the sun sets and the mist rolls in, the Ethiopian wolf stands as a sentinel of the highlands, solitary yet social, vulnerable yet resilient, a living testament to the wild heart of Ethiopia's mountains. In the most inaccessible corners of the Ethiopian highlands, where the land rises in a labyrinth of jagged cliffs and sheer rock faces, lives an animal that has truly mastered the vertical world, the Nubian Ibex. Here, above the clouds, the air is thin and the wind is sharp, sculpting the landscape into a fortress of stone. It is a realm where only the most agile and sure-footed can survive. These wild goats are expert rock climbers, possessing remarkable adaptations that make them perfectly suited to their precarious habitat. Their bodies are compact and muscular, built for balance and explosive power, allowing them to leap from ledge to ledge with astonishing precision. Their hooves are a marvel of natural engineering, with a hard, sharp outer edge that can grip the smallest of ledges and a soft, sticky inner pad that acts like a suction cup, allowing them to cling to almost sheer rock faces. This unique design gives them the confidence to traverse terrain that would be impossible for most other animals. This incredible agility is their primary defense, enabling them to escape to terrain where few predators dare to follow. When danger approaches, the ibex can vanish in seconds, scaling vertical walls and disappearing into a maze of stone. The adult male, or buck, is a truly magnificent sight. His presence dominates the highlands, his silhouette etched against the sky as he surveys his domain. The herd, made up of females and young, moves cautiously, always alert to the ever-present threat of predators. His most prominent feature is a pair of enormous, backward-curving horns which can grow to over 1 meter in length. These horns are not only a symbol of strength, but also a vital tool in the struggle for dominance. These horns are not merely for show, they are a symbol of his age, status, and authority within the herd. The largest horns belong to the most experienced males who command respect and control access to the best feeding grounds and the females. They also serve as formidable weapons in the intense ritual battles that dominate the lives of the males. These contests are a test of strength, endurance, and strategy played out on the very edge of survival. From a young age, male ibex practice their fighting skills, playfully butting heads with their peers. These early lessons are crucial, teaching them the techniques and tactics they will need as adults. These youthful games are preparation for the serious life-or-death contests that await them in adulthood. Every leap, every clash hones their skills for the future. When the time comes to compete for territory and breeding rights, these playful spars transform into ferocious rituals. The tension is palpable as rivals size each other up, each determined to prove his worth. Two rival males will face each other on a narrow ledge, their powerful horns clashing with a sound that echoes across the canyons. The battles are dramatic, sometimes lasting for hours, as each tries to outlast and outmaneuver the other. They rear up on their hind legs, crashing down with tremendous force, each trying to unbalance the other. The risk is immense, for a single misstep can send them tumbling into the abyss below. In this perilous arena, a single misstep can mean a fatal fall to the valley floor hundreds of feet below. The stakes are as high as the cliffs themselves. The stakes are impossibly high. The winner not only secures his right to pass on his genes, but also confirms his dominance over the herd. The herd's future depends on the strength and skill of its leader. The loser of such a battle, if he survives, must retreat in disgrace. His wounds are a reminder of the harsh realities of life on the cliffs. He loses his territory, his access to females, and his status within the herd. Isolation is a heavy price to pay in this unforgiving world. It is a harsh but effective system that ensures only the strongest and most skilled males will father the next generation, passing on the traits that have allowed the Nubian Ibex to thrive in one of the planet's most challenging environments. The herd's survival depends on these ancient rituals. Yet, the Nubian Ibex is not alone in this high-altitude wilderness. Predators such as leopards and birds of prey lurk in the shadows, ever watchful for a moment of weakness. The ibex's vigilance is constant, their senses finely tuned to the slightest movement or sound. Their lives, played out on the precipice between the earth and the sky, are a dramatic testament to the power of adaptation and the unforgiving laws of natural selection. Every day is a battle for survival, a dance on the edge of the world, where only the most resilient endure. Back in the arid lands of the baboons, the delicate balance of life has been disrupted. The land, once a patchwork of opportunity, now offers only hardship. The relentless sun has scorched the earth, baking the soil into a mosaic of cracks and dust. The once reliable sources of food around Asar's cliff fortress have become exhausted. The grasses have withered, their roots exposed and brittle. The berry bushes are barren, their branches stripped and lifeless, offering no sustenance to the hungry troop. Even the very ground seems to have turned to dust, swirling in the wind and stinging the eyes of all who cross it. For Asar and his family, staying put is no longer an option. It means starvation. The troop gathers, anxious and restless, sensing the urgency in the air. The difficult decision must be made to abandon their home, their sanctuary among the rocks, and set out into the unknown. They embark on a perilous journey in search of a new territory, one with enough food and water to sustain them. The promise of a distant waterhole, a glimmer of hope, drives them onward. The migration is fraught with danger. The open plains offer little cover, and every step forward is a gamble. Leaving the familiar safety of their cliffs exposes them to a host of threats they can normally avoid. Predators, rival troops, and the harsh elements. The troop must travel across open ground where the tall grass offers only the illusion of safety. Asar leads the way, his senses sharpened by necessity, every muscle tensed for danger. He scans the horizon, searching for the telltale movement of a predator or the glint of water in the distance. The females and their young huddle in the center of the group, protected by the strength and vigilance of the adults. A protective phalanx of larger males forms a living shield, their eyes darting, their bodies ready to defend at a moment's notice. Every shadow could conceal a leopard, every thicket a lurking threat. The dry grass rustles ominously, and the troop reacts instantly, bunching together, ready to face whatever emerges. The journey is a test of endurance and nerve for every member of the family. Hunger gnaws at their bellies and thirst parches their throats. Their destination is a distant valley, a patch of green glimpsed from their high cliffs, shimmering like a mirage. A ribbon of green winding through the parched plains promises relief and renewal. There a stream is said to flow even in the driest of seasons, its banks lined with lush vegetation. This valley promises salvation, water to drink, leaves and fruit to eat, and the hope of survival, but such a prized location is unlikely to be uninhabited. The troop pauses, senses heightened as they approach the edge of the lush valley. Asa knows that they are not just marching towards a new home. They are marching towards a potential conflict. Other baboon troops, driven by the same desperation, may already be here, their own survival at stake. The landscape is dotted with signs of struggle, troops on the move, gaunt faces, and the urgency of hunger. All eyes are on the oasis, the promise of life in a world of scarcity. The journey is only the first part of the challenge. Claiming the valley will be another battle entirely. As they draw closer, the signs of other baboons become more frequent. Calls echoing through the trees, movement in the undergrowth. Scraps of discarded food and the scent of rivals linger in the air, confirming Asa's fears. Scent markers on rocks and trees warn of territory already claimed. The valley is already occupied, its resources fiercely guarded. This is not a simple matter of sharing resources. In the world of Hamadryas baboons, territory is absolute. The resident troop will not welcome newcomers. Displays of aggression ripple through the valley, a warning to all who approach. The resident males bare their teeth, posturing and roaring, ready to defend what is theirs. Asa must now prepare his family, not just for foraging, but for war. The troop tightens, every member aware of the coming storm. The survival of his harem and the future of his bloodline now depend on his ability to conquer this new frontier and displace its current rulers. In this wild land, only the strongest, most united, and most resourceful will endure, and so the march for survival continues, not just for the baboons, but for every creature that calls this unforgiving landscape home. In the heart of the lush Ethiopian valley, where the grass grows thick and the air is heavy with the scent of wildflowers, the ancient struggle for territory is about to erupt once more. Asa's troop, seasoned and wary, advances into the domain of the resident clan. The two groups halt, their bodies tense, eyes locked in a silent challenge. The resident troop is formidable, nearly double the size of Asa's band, their numbers a living wall of muscle and fur. At their head stands a young, powerful male, his mane thick and his posture radiating dominance, the very image of a leader in his prime. The atmosphere is electric, every baboon hyper-alert, reading the subtlest cues from their rivals. Both troops freeze, measuring each other from afar, each side calculating the risks and rewards of battle. Suddenly the valley echoes with a cacophony of barks and threat displays. Teeth are bared, chests are puffed, and tails are held high in a show of bravado. Subordinate males from both sides surge forward, feigning charges, their movements calculated to test the resolve of their opponents without risking all-out war. Yet this is the ritualized prelude, a psychological battle where intimidation and displays of strength can sometimes avert bloodshed. But today the stakes are too high. The leaders step forward, their eyes locked, each knowing that only one can claim this territory. The confrontation is intensely personal, a duel for dominance, for the right to mate, and for the future of their bloodlines. The prize is immense, a fertile paradise, rich in food and shelter where the victor's lineage will thrive. The young rival, emboldened by his strength and the support of his troop, is the first to break the standoff, striding forward with a swagger that signals his intent. His silver mane bristles, fur standing on end as he makes himself appear even larger and more intimidating. He bares his fangs in a chilling display, a warning that he is ready to fight to the death. Asa, though older and outnumbered, stands his ground, his body language calm but unyielding. His scars tell the story of past battles. He's a veteran, and every muscle remembers the strategies of survival. He answers the challenge with a deep, guttural roar, a sound that reverberates through the valley and signals his refusal to yield. The two leaders begin to circle, each watching for the slightest weakness, their movements slow and deliberate, a deadly dance of anticipation. They perform an intimidation dance, puffing up, lunging and retreating, each feint a test of nerve and skill. Around them the troops watch in rapt attention, every member's fate tied to the outcome of this primal contest. The midday sun beats down, intensifying the drama as the two titans finally collide. The fight is explosive. Fur flies, teeth snap, and the air is filled with the sounds of snarling and shrieking. They lunge and grapple, aiming for vulnerable necks and shoulders, each attack a calculated risk. The younger male uses his speed and stamina, darting in and out, trying to wear down his older rival. But Asa's experience is his greatest weapon. He anticipates attacks, deflects blows, and waits for the perfect moment to strike. He absorbs a punishing blow, rolling with the impact rather than resisting it head-on. Then, with a sudden twist, he finds an opening, exploiting a momentary lapse in his opponent's defense. Every move is precise, every strike calculated to inflict maximum damage with minimum risk. The battle grows bloodier, both combatants bearing wounds, but neither willing to surrender. Exhaustion sets in, but determination keeps them locked in combat. A true test of willpower and endurance. The troops are in turmoil, their calls rising in a frenzied chorus, each baboon acutely aware that the outcome will reshape their world. Screams and barks fill the air, a chaotic soundtrack to the life-and-death struggle unfolding before them. In a critical moment, Asa sidesteps a reckless lunge, his reflexes honed by years of survival. He counters with a powerful bite, sinking his fangs deep into the younger male's shoulder, a decisive blow. The wounded rival cries out, pain and fear, breaking his resolve. His confidence shattered, the young leader flees, his retreat signaling total defeat. The morale of his troop collapses instantly, their unity dissolving in the face of their leader's failure. Sensing the shift in power, some females abandon the defeated male, seeking security with the new victor. They approach Asa, submitting to his authority, their allegiance now with the dominant force. Asa stands tall, bloodied but unbowed, the undisputed master of this territory. His victory secures a new home for his troop, a land of abundance where his family can flourish. Through strategy, strength, and sheer will, Asa ensures that his bloodline will endure, his legacy written in the very soil of the valley. Victory has a profound and immediate impact on the social landscape of the valley. For Asa, it is a total triumph. He has not only secured a territory rich in food and water for his family, but he has also expanded his harem, incorporating some of the females from the defeated troop. His status is elevated to its highest peak. His authority is now unquestionable. For his original family, the victory means an end to hunger and uncertainty. For the newly acquired females, it means aligning with a new powerful protector who has proven his genetic superiority in the most definitive way possible. A new social order is forged in the aftermath of the battle. For the vanquished male, however, the loss is catastrophic. He has lost everything, his territory, his mates, and his future. He is forced into exile, a solitary outcast with no social standing. His wounds will heal, but the psychological scars of his defeat will remain. He may survive on the periphery, but he will likely never lead a troop again. The harshest reality of this new order is the fate of the infants from the defeated troop. The law of the baboon world is cruel. A new leader will often kill the young, sired by his predecessor, ensuring that the females come back into season quickly and that all future generations carry only his victorious genes. Despite the brutality of the conflict and the harsh realities of baboon law, moments of peace and tenderness soon return to the valley. With the threat removed and resources plentiful, the tension within the troop dissipates. The mothers can relax their vigilance slightly, allowing the young to play more freely among the lush grasses. The vital work of grooming resumes, strengthening social bonds and cleaning wounds. Asar, the victorious warrior, now resumes his role as a watchful patriarch, his presence a source of stability rather than conflict. The war is over and the daily rhythms of life can begin anew. This great war for territory, while violent, serves a critical function in the ecosystem and the evolution of the species. It ensures that only the strongest, most capable leaders are able to hold territory and reproduce. This process of natural selection, played out through epic battles, drives the species to be stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Asa's victory is not just a personal one, it is a victory for his lineage. A demonstration of the strength of his genes, which will now be passed on to a new generation, born and raised in the hard-won security of their new valley home. The ripple effects of this new order extend beyond the baboons. Other wildlife in the valley also benefit from the stability and abundance of resources. Antelopes graze more confidently, birds nest in the safety of the trees, and small mammals forage without the looming threat of conflict. The baboon troop, now a dominant force, moves through the valley with a newfound harmony, their interactions with other species reflecting the balance restored by Asar's victory. The young baboons play near the water, their mothers watching over them with a sense of calm that had been absent during the conflict. Under the shade of the trees, the troop rests and grooms each other, reinforcing the social bonds that are crucial for their survival. Asar leads his troop through the valley, a symbol of strength and unity, his leadership ensuring the continued prosperity of his lineage. As the sun sets over the valley, the baboons settle down for the night. The tranquility of the evening, a stark contrast to the chaos of the battle that had once raged. The troop sleep soundly, their future secured by the strength and leadership of Asar, the new patriarch of the valley. With the dawn of a new day, the cycle of life continues, the baboons and the valley thriving under the new order established by Asar's victory. In the vast and interconnected web of Ethiopian wildlife, survival is often shaped by intricate alliances, some obvious, others hidden in plain sight. Among the most remarkable are the relationships between baboons and the other animals that share their rugged homeland. Gelada baboons, for instance, are often seen foraging alongside herds of ibex and antelope. This proximity is no accident. It is a partnership forged by necessity. With their sharp eyes and constant chatter, baboons act as vigilant sentinels. Their alarm calls ripple across the grasslands, warning all within earshot of approaching leopards or hyenas. In return, the presence of large herbivores increases the chances of detecting danger early, as more eyes and ears are attuned to the subtle shifts in the wild. The baboons themselves are part of a broader network. Birds such as oxpeckers and starlings often follow the troops, feeding on insects disturbed by the baboons' movements, or even picking parasites from their fur. This mutualism benefits both. The birds gain easy meals, while the baboons enjoy relief from biting pests. Sometimes, as baboons forage, they overturn rocks and logs, exposing hidden insects and grubs. Opportunistic mongooses and birds quickly seize the chance to snatch up these uncovered morsels. This loose collaboration allows multiple species to benefit from the baboon's industrious search for food, creating a ripple effect of opportunity across the ecosystem. Warthogs, too, are known to follow baboon troops, rooting in the freshly disturbed earth for roots and tubers unearthed by the primate's nimble fingers. This peaceful coexistence is a testament to the subtle negotiations that shape life in the wild, where competition gives way to cooperation when survival is at stake. Even as baboons move through rivers and wetlands, their passage stirs up aquatic insects and small fish, providing a feast for waiting birds and fish. These fleeting moments of harmony reveal the deep interdependence that binds the creatures of Ethiopia's wild places. Yet these relationships are not without tension. The ever-present threat of predators means that trust is balanced with caution, and alliances are tested with every shadow that moves across the land. As the sun sets over the Ethiopian highlands, baboons and their neighbours settle in for the night, their fates intertwined in a delicate web of mutual reliance. In this world, every alliance, no matter how fleeting or fraught, can mean the difference between life and death. The story of the baboon and its companions is a living tapestry, woven from countless acts of cooperation, vigilance, and shared survival, a testament to the intricate balance that sustains the wild heart of Ethiopia. Hidden beneath the shroud of misty mornings and nestled between the jagged cliffs of the Ethiopian highlands, ancient rivers carve their secret paths. These waterways, veins of life, often unseen from above, are the silent architects of survival. As dawn breaks, silvery streams snake through valleys, pooling in shadowy hollows and feeding a mosaic of crystal-clear springs. For countless creatures, these hidden water sources are both sanctuary and battleground. From the first golden rays, the riverbanks stir with quiet anticipation. Early risers, like the nimble clip-springer, descend the rocky slopes, their delicate hooves barely disturbing the dew-laden grasses. They drink quickly, ever watchful for predators lurking in the reeds. Soon a parade of life follows. Herds of ibex and antelope, moving with cautious grace, gather to quench their thirst. The air fills with the gentle rustle of hooves on wet earth, punctuated by the soft splash of a drinking gazelle. In the shallows, Ethiopian wolves prowl with silent precision. They come not just to drink, but to hunt, searching for the scurrying rodents and wary birds that flock to the water's edge. Fish, darting through the cool currents, feed on drifting insect larvae, while kingfishers perch above, ready to dive with lightning speed. Overhead, a flock of wattled ibis circles, their cries echoing off the canyon walls before they settle at the water's edge, probing the mud for hidden worms. Even beneath the surface, life thrives. Frogs and newts glide through submerged grasses, their chorus rising as dusk approaches. Water beetles and dragonfly larvae hunt among the stones, while snakes slip silently between pools, their scales glinting in the dappled light. Competition is fierce, but so is cooperation. Baboons, ever the opportunists, arrive in noisy bands, their presence scattering smaller animals, but also alerting all to unseen dangers. As they drink and forage, their movements stir up insects and seeds, feeding birds and fish alike. Warthogs wallow in the muddy banks, their snouts rooting for tender shoots unearthed by the baboons' digging. These rivers are more than mere water. They are the pulse of the land, drawing together creatures great and small in a daily ritual of survival. The drama at the water's edge is both timeless and ever-changing, moments of peace shattered by sudden alarm, predator and prey locked in an ancient dance, alliances formed and broken with the shifting light. As the sun sets, the hidden rivers fall silent once more, their secrets carried downstream. But for those who depend on these lifelines, tomorrow will bring a new chapter, a fresh chance to drink, to thrive, and to endure in the heart of Ethiopia's wild places. As darkness blankets the highlands, a different world awakens. The last golden hues fade from the cliffs, replaced by a silvery moon that casts long shadows over the sleeping land. In the cool hush, the Ethiopian highlands transform. Nocturnal life stirs, guided by instincts honed in the deep embrace of night. A chorus begins. Chirring crickets and the distant, throaty croaks of frogs weave an ancient lullaby. Hidden in the tall grasses, the elusive African civet prowls on silent paws, its banded tail flicking as it searches for ripe fruit and unsuspecting insects. Every movement is measured, every step deliberate, blending seamlessly into the dappled darkness. Nearby, a family of crested porcupines emerges from their burrow. Their massive quills rustle softly as they shuffle through the undergrowth, using sensitive noses to root out bulbs and tubers. When danger approaches, perhaps a shadowy serval cat, eyes gleaming in the moonlight, the porcupines freeze, their quills raised in silent warning, ready to defend against the unseen. The night air is alive with sound. The haunting call of the African wood owl drifts between the branches, echoing off stone and water. High above, bats flutter in erratic patterns, snatching moths and beetles mid-flight. Their wings make only the faintest whisper, but their presence is felt in the sudden stillness of insects below. On the rocky slopes, bush hyraxes huddle in small groups, their soft chirps and squeaks signalling safety in numbers. From their vantage points they scan for the glowing eyes of predators, perhaps a leopard, gliding like a phantom through the darkness, each muscle rippling with silent intent. Near the water's edge, the drama of survival continues. Reed frogs cling to stems, their skin shifting colours to match the moonlit reeds. A slender African clawless otter slips into the stream, barely rippling the surface as it hunts for fish and crustaceans. Its sensitive whiskers twitch with each subtle movement below, guiding it through the inky water. Even the smallest creatures play their part. Fireflies blink in cryptic patterns, their cold light weaving among the reeds. Spiders spin intricate webs that glisten in the moonlight, waiting for the careless flutter of a moth. And beneath the stones, scorpions emerge, their pincers poised and tails arched, moving with patient determination. In the Ethiopian Highlands, the night belongs to the keen, the cautious, and the clever. Each rustle, each whisper, each fleeting shadow is a testament to the resilience of life. As dawn approaches, the nocturnal symphony fades, and the creatures of the night retreat to their hidden refuges, waiting for darkness to return, and with it the wild secrets of the Highland night. As the first blush of dawn spills over the rugged escarpments, the Ethiopian highlands come alive with a spectacle of wings. Morning breaks, and with it a vibrant chorus erupts, trills, whistles, and melodic calls weaving through the crisp air. Here in this cradle of clouds and granite, birds reign as both performers and caretakers of the land. A regal lammergier, or bearded vulture, soars effortlessly on the updrafts, its massive wings casting fleeting shadows on the rocks below. With keen eyes it searches for remnants of last night's drama, bones left by predators. Grasping a weathered femur in its talons, it climbs skyward, then releases it onto the stones, shattering it to reach the marrow within. In this way, the lammergier recycles what others leave behind, ensuring nothing is wasted. Below, a flock of thick-billed ravens gathers, their glossy feathers catching the morning light. Intelligent and curious, they work together to probe crevices for insects and seeds, their sharp calls echoing through the valleys. These resourceful birds are masterful opportunists, ready to snatch up a stray egg or scavenge from an abandoned kill, playing a vital role in controlling pests and cleaning the landscape. In the dense juniper woodlands, the Ethiopian oriole flashes its golden plumage among the emerald leaves. It darts from branch to branch, feasting on caterpillars and beetles, keeping the trees healthy. Nearby, the endemic blue-winged goose glides across a tranquil tarn, its soft honks blending with the gentle splash of water. As it forages for grasses and aquatic plants, its presence helps maintain the delicate balance of the wetland ecosystem. High above, the elegant tawny eagle rides the thermals, scanning for unwary rodents or a careless hyrax. Its sharp vision and swift dive make it a formidable hunter, regulating populations and shaping the rhythms of life below. Meanwhile, a pair of wattled ibises wade through a dew-laden meadow, probing the earth with curved bills in search of worms and grubs, aerating the soil with every step. The sun climbs higher, illuminating the dazzling iridescence of the malachite sunbird as it hovers near a patch of red-hot pokers. Its slender beak dips into the tubular blossoms, sipping nectar and dusting its feathers with pollen. Each visit ensures the flower's future, linking bird and plant in a delicate, vital dance. In the thickets, weavers construct intricate nests, their woven orbs swaying gently in the breeze. These tiny architects create safe havens for their chicks and, in turn, offer shelter to a host of insects and small reptiles. Everywhere the air is alive with movement, swift swallows skimming over the grasslands, bee-eaters launching from perches to snatch stinging prey mid-flight, francolins scurrying through the undergrowth, their calls sharp and urgent. Predators and prey, pollinators and scavengers, each bird shapes and is shaped by the world around it. As the day unfolds, the avian symphony continues, a living thread binding the highlands together. Their wings carry seeds to distant slopes, their songs announce the changing seasons, and their presence ensures the resilience of this remarkable ecosystem. In the Ethiopian highlands, to watch the birds is to witness the heartbeat of the land itself, a delicate balance, forever in motion, forever wild.